New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hello, people. What's going on? Followers, subscribers. Wow, this is an amazing start for us. We are venturing off into the social media network platforms, trying to we're not trying, we're actually doing it.
We're doing it.
We're promoting our story, how God has affected us. And we just believe that there's a lot of relationships, people, single people, relationship people, all that could benefit from just learning from one another. Learning is a never-ending process. So we just want to give you what our experiences and what we learned and the joy that it's brought for us. And we thank you all for tuning in and subscribing and joining us, following us every week, every month. And it's just going to be so much more to come. I'm so excited for this whole year. My baby girl is talking already. She is not camera shy. And
we are we're here to just really be who we are. So it's gonna be super authentic and not scripted. So bear with us on the lack of script. We also have some consistent guests, Hartley and Dakota. So if you hear them in the background, that's what this is like. This is the Ways with the Maze, and this is our life. And our children will be included in pretty much every step of the process. And how do we even get to this concept, the Ways with the Maze? Actually started a while ago. It started when we transitioned back to being a couple. And then 1 year during a New Year service, there was a prophecy that was shared with Dakari and myself. Sorry for all the banging. And it was that Dakari is supposed to be this walking billboard for Christ. And we wanted to make sure that our story was told and that everything that people learn about us and our family, all the messages that we receive on Instagram and our Facebook pages, everyone's always congratulations, you all are awesome. But we wanted to make sure that we pointed all back to Christ. So that's why the Ways with the Maze is what it is. Because he is the way and the only way.
The only way. We are, yes, we are learning to be obedient. And like my wife said, prophecy came over me. And if you ever had that experience, some people could deny it, some people could fight it. And I could honestly say I probably did. Without the guidance and the vision of our pastor, G. Morris Coleman, who was basically the start, the reigniting of us getting together, that we probably wouldn't be together. We had to, we first had to submit. That's our pastor. He had a vision. The Lord spoke to him about us, and he was the only one that could possibly bring us together.
Absolutely.
So we thank him.
Yes, thank you, Pastor.
Now, what, 8 into the 9th year, almost. Yeah, about ninth year. I mean, we're in our 9th year, being as a couple, knowing each other.
Yeah.
Married for two kids under 2. And it's about the timeline. We have free will, and we choose to have his will be our will. Most people get caught up with oh, I gotta be 21, I gotta have this, I gotta be 25, I gotta have this. And what I realized, I was 39 with my own timeline and still not happy, not completely fulfilled until I submit. And for fellas out there, just you want a lady, you're looking for a lady, that lady has to first see that you can submit your own will over to someone else. Or to I would say to God. And when she sees that, she then like a wall comes down. there's a trust issue that opens up, because there's a trust issue that opens up that allows the females or the women to say, you know what? He's giving his faith and love to someone greater than me. So I can also give my love and faith and trust to him.
Yeah. So when he says 9 years ago, that's actually like when we, I guess, started.
We only had one break. We only had one
break.
break.
One long 5-year break. Y'all. 5-year break.
I waited 5 years to get on the job.
And so during that 5 years, we grew a lot.
We had to grow.
Yeah, break was great.
We had to grow.
And so that's really how we became the Mays. And there's more.
The Maynards. We just cut that short. Because...
Yeah. But that truly is, how can we say this? Like, there's really no other way this could have happened without like being in alignment and without acknowledging that we needed to grow, without acknowledging that we needed something bigger than ourselves. Like, had to put our pride aside.
That's real big
for us to even be where we are.
That's real big. Because when it's just you and a person, and it's about you or that person, when problems come, obstacles come, and you get an attitude and you get in an argument, you could bounce if it's not bigger than just you. Of course, we're together now and we have kids, and it's like that's a why for us, right? That's a why for us. But even our children, we still give our children's to God first, right? And that's what holds us down. Like, there's times when I want to just speak, but I have to take the time to pray to see about my delivery towards my wife, because I don't want to disrespect. Trust me, we get on each other's nerves.
Yes, we do.
We're going to be transparent here. And sometimes sometimes the conversations get heated. But we never really try hard. We try hard to never disrespect one another and speak down towards one another. But at the same time, still be real, because sometimes you got to be real. You got to be real. You can't sugarcoat what you're trying to express to your wife, and you got to hope that she gets it. If she doesn't, you have to go back and figure out a way that you could probably deliver it a little bit better.
Yeah. So today we want to talk about the idea, the topic of being on the same team. Before we could do anything, we have to recognize that we are playing on the same team. And so our team, the Maynards.
Oh, because you're talking about the
Knicks. No, we're never playing for the Knicks. No shade. But we, even in our disagreements, we have to remember that there's one goal in mind. And our goal is to making sure that our relationship and our love for one another brings people back to Christ. We're soul winners.
Soul winners of soul. The harvest is real.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about same team.
Same team.
Where did that come from? Like, I remember you bringing that up one day, in an argument, and you were like, "Remember, we're on the same team."
So in like, my wife is a principal, and that in her job, she's the boss, you know. At home, she kind of has to relinquish that power, because I'm the head of the household. But sometimes I speak to her, it's not to hurt her, it's only to encourage. So you have to remember, we're on the same team. Like, Jordan and Pippen was on the same team, but they argued, and it was all for the greater good. Like, as long as we win this championship, we all got to know our roles in it. So being on a team means knowing your role. If you are a center, not today's game, but if you're a center, you shouldn't be outside shooting 3-pointers. We need you in the box, grabbing rebounds, blocking shots, and being that presence inside the paint of defense, you know. But the game now has changed. But if I could say that we can get back to the fundamentals of relationships, of courting, of getting to know one another before dating or sleeping with someone. That allows the relationship its guidelines, I should say, like the what's the word I'm looking for?
Maybe setting boundaries.
Yes,
Okay.
the boundaries.
Yeah, I think, when I think about same team, when you first said it, it kind of like paused me for a moment. Like, we were in the process of like not agreeing and being eye to eye, and then it was like, we're on the same team, and I'm like, holy snap. It like snapped me back into like reality, and helped me pay attention to, like, what did I just say that that sounded like we're on the same team? Like, what did I do that sounded like we're on the same team? And how could I change what I'm saying and what I'm doing to make sure that I'm passing you the ball, like that I'm not giving the ball to my opponent, or shooting the ball in the opponent's basket. And if you've seen our Instagram page, that was one of the quotes that we posted about being on the same team. And neither one of us want the other team to win.
Yeah.
Why would we want the enemy to win, right?
So who would be the enemy? Outsiders, naysayers. When it comes to family, it's us, right? This four on the immediate family, in-laws, even in-laws, right? As great as in-laws can be, and they help raise our children, we got to discuss things in-house first. Like, the in-laws are a team of themselves, like multiple teams going towards one goal. It's a movement. Her parents, I believe strive to give God the glory in their relationship as well. But that's their own team, right?
And I think that we have goals that we set at the beginning of each year of our anniversary. And we check in to see if we reach those goals, and some of the things that we're saying or some of the things that we're doing counter those goals that we set, which means we're not planning to be successful if we're not thinking about being on the same team, if we don't keep those goals in mind. And every family's goals look different, right? Mm-hmm. So that's like having the Moore family chime in when they're not familiar with our goals. Is not fair, because their goals are different than ours, right? And so it's important for as a family that we have goals for one another, and then that we are constantly working on reaching those goals every single day. And that's how you make sure you're on the same team.
Yeah, we're not gonna go undefeated. So when we do lose something, just like any team, you got to go back and review the tape. You have to be vulnerable with one another. And like I said, we're on the same team. We're not here to hurt. But what you said hurt me, or like, understand that I like this done this way, and if you could do that, it'll help me just through the communications with you.
Yeah.
Being on the same team, you also got to know your role. So I would like to bring up
that's a good thing.
The fact that like love, right? We had the men everybody, right? We're grown or raised with an idea of love. Whatever we experienced, whatever we saw on TV, whatever our parents showed us, lack or abundance thereof, you roll that into your relationships. But I would like to encourage everyone to find out their love language.
Oh yeah, that's good.
If my wife's love language is quality time, and all I saw my father do was give my mother gifts, and I just kept giving her gifts. She appreciates the gifts, but it's not I'm not telling her I love her in the way that she can be loved. So we're out there just winging it sometimes, fellas. We like, roses, candy, chocolate. My wife don't like flowers. My wife doesn't eat chocolate.
Can I add to that? I think it's important for the women to be able to say, like, that's what I like, right? So that you can play on the same team. Like, that's why it's important for you to know your love language, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that when you do receive something that is kind of like not in your element or something that you're not comfortable with, you don't receive that as, now don't go buy me nothing at all. Because that's like a guy thing to say, well, fine, I won't buy you anything. But instead, like, hey, instead of flowers or chocolates, buy me a pair of sneakers.
It actually increases your man, I'm getting tongue tied. But anyway, I bring it in. It'll come back to me. We also are going to build a lot of the shows off of your comments. The question that you may have, you could be anonymous, or you could be direct with us, but your privacy would be kept between us. We wouldn't share. We'll just open it up as a new topic to talk about. So please message us. I'm Dak May 79 on Instagram. We will grow. You can find me on Facebook under Dakari Maynard. My name is my name, and I love it. If you know me, you know I do love it.
He loves it, y'all.
Put my name in every song possible, a little remix. So yeah, give them your information. Let them know where they get.
Yes. So actually, you can find me at More to Maynard on my Instagram, Michelle Maynard on Facebook. But we had a Instagram together.
We do.
And it actually is titled The Ways with the Mays.
And this is our first show. Like, this is the big deal. We was inspired by her father. If you don't know, it's The Blueprint. It airs every Sunday at 7:30? 7 o'clock. And that's Lowe's Moore, the Mount Vernon legend, basketball, NBA player, New York High School Hall of Famer. He's had everybody on his show from Hill Harper to Denzel to JB, and they just talk about his goal, his movement, which is faith, family, and basketball, isn't it?
Yeah, and the 7 spheres of influences. I think we learn that sometimes we just have to do stuff. You don't have to wait. You just have to do. Don't. That is so nobody can see that.
But he right there. This is the New Jersey Nets of 1981.
Yeah.
You could say he was James Harden before James Harden.
Oh goodness.
Because they both left-handed.
So I do think, like, in these 30 minutes that you are here with the Mays, you will hear how we had experienced a real maze. And I don't know how many of you feel like you've ever been in a maze trying to get out of this maze. And so our intention is to really just talk you through your maze.
That is so good. Oh man. And there's a method for everything, right? She was a school teacher before, principal, so she knows the new math, right? I can't help you there.
Thank you.
And there's ways to do everything. There's actually like a formula to get out of a maze.
Yes.
If you did not know that, but I'm glad she brought that. Our formula?
Yeah.
Let God lead us.
Yeah.
Be obedient.
The word and the word and the worship.
When he says move, you move.
Just like that.
The word, say that again?
The word.
Go ahead. You said 3 of them. 3 dubs.
I did say 3 W's. I forgot that fast. If y'all remember.
Did you say the world?
No.
You didn't say the world.
No.
You said the word and you said worship.
The word and the worship.
And you said another one. You forgot already.
We forgot. I forget that fast. My brain.
That's why we could post this and record it ourselves. We will be watching ourselves to better ourselves, the better for you guys out there listening.
And some things to look forward to. So We are going to host some couples events.
We will have
are
guests. We'll
going
have
to
couple
do
guests.
some couple sessions for one-on-one sessions. For anyone who's interested, you can definitely reach us at our Instagram page or Facebook page, or at Ways to the Maze on YouTube, as well as our Instagram page. But we have a lot of things coming, and we will be ending this year with our very own book.
Yes, we will.
So it's a lot.
It might be self-titled, but
there's a lot to look forward from us. And I think we have so much to share. There is a formula to this, and we want to share that formula with you. And it took us a lot to get here. And so I want to say thank you to Sanzi. I know we see that you're on. So hi, if you have any questions,
Fresh Start fam.
We're gonna use the last few minutes to just answer any questions that anybody has, and open the floor for you all.
That's it.
I mean, while we're waiting for any other questions, we can definitely shout out Fresh Start. That's something that has been a formula, a portion of our formula.
Portion of the formula.
Having a community that we can fellowship with and also hold us accountable, in addition to our family. So Fresh Start and then family. Without our family, we definitely would not be where we are. The word, the work, and the worship. I'm sorry. Thank you.
The work. There we go.
But I think it's important that we share this with you, this platform with you, and there's gonna be more to come. And so on our Instagram page, we're gonna have some Maynard moments, the M&Ms. So we want to share the M&Ms, so there'll be some Maynard moments.
I may post some, she may post some, but you can guarantee we'll both know what the other one is posting.
Yeah.
It's a team thing, right? Nobody could infiltrate your circle if your circle knows what's going on. Yeah. Right. That's a big, and that was a big thing for me, because, and it might be a big thing for some men, because a lot of men like to use the women submit to their husband, but they don't know. A lot of people read the word out of context, but they don't realize that the word holds us men to more of a commitment, more of a submission to the wife and to the word than the women is held up to.
I think also realizing that we're not asking for permission when we do anything. It's not this like, oh, I have a new mom or a new dad when we're on the same team. It's like, there's nothing. I saw a post on Instagram the other day that's like, oh, when you tell me a secret that does not, and you tell me not to tell nobody, that does not include,
it doesn't include the husband.
Right? And so if you tell me, like, he's going to know. And I think part of him knowing is also because I look for him as my leader in the home. I look for him as the guide. And so I expect for him to give me spiritual wisdom. And with the spiritual wisdom, I trust that he's going back to Christ for guidance. And so that is like something that I come to him for everything on. So that's why it's important when we talk about being on the same team, like knowing that he is going to coach me the way Christ wants me to be coached.
So yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, because there's no breaking. How can I say this? There's bro code and there's girl code. But it's brought to the wife with respect, right? So something may happen with a friend of mine or a friend of hers, and that name doesn't have to be presented at that time, because what that also do is a very thin line between that and gossip, right? Because I could get a name from her, and then I can have, or him, and I can have my own perceptions be altered with that conversation. So no bro codes broken, but trust and believe if something gets brought to us, it's being handled with gentle hands. And it's delicate because your feelings are involved.
Can I add to that? Mm-hmm. Actually, So there was a situation. I'm grateful that we are getting wisdom, but we also agreed that if something happens in our marriage or within our relationship, that there's really only
a few couples
that we are allowed to go to share and get advice from, right? Not, and I think that one of the things we learned in that process was that we can share what's happening without telling who is involved. And so there was this one time where I knew if I had said, so and so said something to me that was, that was hurtful, he would have his own feelings about that person. So I actually went to him and just said, hey, this is what happened. I'm not telling you the name. And he kept saying, who was it? Who was it? I'm not telling you the name because I also know that he has a relationship with that person, and his relationship would have been affected if I had spilled. No, she hasn't. If I had shared that name. So I think his relationship has still been the same with that particular person because I never told you that he was the one that had hurt me. And I think that that's super important. Like, not only are you on the same team in your household, but you also want to make sure that you are still being careful about the additional souls that are attached to us.
Yes.
And there are so many people attached to the moves that we make. And even this particular movement about doing the Ways with the Maze is about the souls that are attached to us and how important it is for us to kind of be out there in the world, even though it's a very scary thing to share your life with people, knowing that when you do this, more people will see like, oh, this is the formula. So just as a part of the being on the same team, really, we said open like communication is super important.
Knowing your roles
is super important, as well as,
and it's like, and practicing. When you practice with one another, and you begin to understand people's movements, tones of voice, expressions, point of views, which makes the whole team just click. Like, I would say like a Golden State Warriors team.
We're about to be a Golden State Warriors team. That's why we wore these colors, y'all. I'm sorry. No, we didn't actually plan it. And we also said knowing one another well. And you have to take the time to really get to know one another and be gentle with getting to know one another, because I was raised a certain way and he was raised a certain way. And sometimes our cultures can clash when we don't recognize the differences in how we were raised and how that creates who we are and could cause us to demean another person's way of being brought up.
And you brought up, I mean, I don't know how much time is left.
We have 2 minutes left.
Okay, so if there's any questions, I won't even speak.
No, we've been watching. I didn't see any questions yet, so you're good.
You brought up
yeah, like I think we could say, hi, Caitlin.
Yeah, it doesn't have to actually be.
And yes, D, hi D, is it Debbie? Oh, hi Debbie. But this is where we are. Oh, and Lee, yes, on the same team. Go ahead.
But I just remember you brought up getting to know a person. So real short note, when we first met, I was so eager to do it differently. Like, we talked for like 7 to 8 months before I even uttered the word girlfriend, because I wanted to make sure I was doing things different. Like, I would rush into things. I would 2 dates and think we know and acts, favorite colors and favorite songs and
think that's it.
And think that's it. Like, all that is made up of a person. So I just wanted to mention that the time it took for me to actually get to know you.
Yeah.
You could see it. The foundation is the most important part of a building.
Yeah.
Without a strong foundation, the building will fall. And even if the building falls, if it's strong enough, it's still there. After the debris is cleared, the foundation is there.
Still there. It's still
And our
nice.
foundation is the word, because it's the truth. It's the work, because without faith, without works, faith is dead. And then the worship just brings our reverence, our appreciation for all that he has done for us in our lives.
We thank you. Oh, Deasia, hi. We thank everybody who joined us. We ask that you continue to like, share, subscribe to our page. We are super excited for where this is going. And if you have any additional ideas of things that you want us to discuss, visit us on our pages, our website, on our, I didn't say we don't have a website yet, but we will.
It's in the making.
It's in the making.
But we didn't want to hold y'all, the people, we didn't want to keep this away from y'all no longer. It's been brewing. The pot, it's been slow cooked.
Yeah.
The meat is tender.
And we're
the
talking
vegetables
about
are
real
steamed.
topics.
Real topics. So you could be as clear and cut, transparent as you want.
So singles, what y'all want to hear from married folks? Married folks, what y'all want to hear from married folks? People who are just wanting to hear more from just other people and different people. That's who we are. And we are the Ways with the Maze.
Ways with the Maze.